Hi, it's Teresa. I just wanted to share this morning an update on my new no sugar lifestyle. And a couple weeks ago, I realized I had to stop eating refined sugar. I have a couple videos on that, but I just want to share an update because I'm really kind of amazed at what's happening to me in my body and my thinking. And some thoughts about sugar and trauma healing. And so basically, first of all, the benefits that I'm seeing right away is slow weight loss, especially visceral fat. So the fat in my abdomen, around organs, I'm sleeping a lot better. I am getting a lot better at like being able to not feel intense waves of sugar cravings, and also to notice that that's completely emotionally triggered. It's not physical, which is, of course, sugar is a drug. So most of us, I mean, some of us will just eat it because somebody made a birthday cake. But for those of us who are addicted to sugar, or any other thing that we're addicted to, we know that it's triggered by an emotional experience. Our body does not want to be poisoned. It doesn't want to ingest or do things that cause it stress. So when we say, oh, I'm craving this thing, we're not craving it. Our body's not craving it. It's more of an emotional trigger that triggers inside of our body some kind of fear or anxiety that causes neurohormonal disruption that feels uncomfortable. And the addiction helps to quickly jack up serotonin, dopamine, GABA, maybe oxytocin. And those things temporarily medicate the stress of whatever feeling we're having. So, but it's not the body, it's our mind. But it does have a physiological effect, but it's coming from emotions. So everyone knows for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, if you just abstain, forced abstinence from whatever the thing you're addicted to, then the nervous system will regulate and normalize on its own. The cravings will go away. The emotions, though, that we're trying to medicate may not. So we have to work with them at the level that they are most effectively worked with. But we can do that. So there's an engagement of our willingness to face our feelings without medicating them away. And but the absence is great because as we avoid the stimulation, whatever the addiction is, our nervous system starts to it starts to regulate from be able to produce well-being and lower inflammation in the body, because most things, especially if there's substance addictions, are causing inflammation. Okay, so all that to say that I'm definitely feeling inflammation going down in my body. And it's really interesting. It's like I usually have a problem with sleep. Like some days it was hit or miss. I would get some good sleep, but most days I didn't. And I just thought it was stress. And I knew it was somehow blood sugar related, but quitting the refined sugar, I've been consistently getting deeper sleep. Not always more hours, so like maybe 6 to 7 hours, but deeper. And even if I wake up in the middle of the night, I fall back asleep faster. I can tell it's deeper, which is so important for our health and well-being. So what I want to get to is I'm experiencing all the stuff I've learned about insulin spikes, blood sugar levels rising and falling, and the impact on our body physiologically, causes of inflammation. So I'm starting to feel more confident that I can actually live like this for the rest of my life. I had a test yesterday. Went to my sister's for dinner, and my sister has this magical kitchen cupboard filled with all kinds of magical sugary things, and she's an amazing baker. She's the best baker I know personally. She didn't have any pies today or yesterday, praise God. But, she has little treats here and there. And I was able to not eat those. It was actually pretty easy. So, the key thing that I'm doing for myself to resist the sugar is I'm allowing myself to really eat. If I want to eat something that I feel like maybe I shouldn't, like she made cheeseburgers on the grill, which were delicious. Like if I'm thinking, oh, I shouldn't have dairy, shouldn't have the gluten bun, I'm letting myself eat those things. And you know what I'm finding is dairy is not great for me, for sure. But gluten is not so bad. When I'm not eating refined sugar, the inflammation's going down. My gut is probably healing. I'm probably healing leaky gut. And I'm finding I'm not as reacting as much to those things. So I'm letting myself eat anything that I really want, except refined sugar. And I'm feeling more energetic. I'm sleeping better, so I feel more energy to work out in the morning, which I'm getting there. My schedule's a little, but just want to share. If I could distill down the most important diet advice for healing, weight loss, and also helping the body to heal from trauma, just stop eating refined sugar. Just stop. It's like one thing, if we are willing to sacrifice it, has so many blessings and this cascade of benefits that come. Like in my nervous system, I feel more calm. I feel more regulated, easier to stay regulated when I use all the methods that I'm learned and I help other people with. When I use them with myself, they actually work better because my nervous system isn't so inflamed from sugar. The better sleep is like an absolute game changer. I can feel like along my spinal cord, in my gut, I can actually feel healing happening. I can feel changes happening. I feel younger. I'm not doing this primarily to lose weight. If I try to do it just for weight loss, I won't stick to it. I'm doing it for my health so that I can be usable to the Lord for what he wants me to do. And how can I really help other people get healthy and, quit sugar if I'm not? So this is a process, and I love that it's a process. It's not an overnight thing. I'm starting to love processes for change and transformation and healing. So, because it's exciting. Our body is dynamic and it's growing. It's not an overnight thing. It's not like you go to get your car fixed and they change the part and now it's running different. Our body's a dynamic, growing thing. It slowly lowers inflammation when we stop toxifying it, and it slowly reproduces new cells that are healthier than their parent cells, and every organ replaces its cells at a different rate. For example, red blood cells take about 6 weeks. Your adrenal gland cells take 3 months. So let's go back to that. So stress and trauma healing with sugar, how are they related? So really quickly, when we eat refined sugar, it makes our blood sugar go up really fast because it's absorbed very fast. Our brain and our body needs a very narrow range of blood sugar. If we have too much sugar in our blood, it can kill us. Well, let's put it this way. If we have too much sugar, back up. When we get a big influx of sugar from eating refined sugar, not fruit, that's another story, but refined sugar, our insulin, the pancreas releases insulin because it's like, we got to get this huge rise of blood sugar out of the blood because it's dangerous. So insulin comes from the pancreas. Insulin pushes that sugar into the cells of our bodies, especially muscle cells. It will turn some of that sugar, if it's too much that we need, it's more than we need, into fat. It'll push it into fat cells. And then pancreas says, okay, the brain says, okay, now that dangerous sugar level's down. But because we had such a massive insulin reaction to get that big influx of sugar down. Now we have too low of sugar. That's called hypoglycemia. So that happens. Now the brain says, oh my gosh, now we have not enough sugar. I'm going to starve. If we don't have enough sugar, the brain will shut down and we can die. So the brain says, okay, you got to raise blood sugar again. So then it sends a signal to release our stored glycogen from muscles and liver. And then we get another insulin rush. So we're constantly having this up, down, up, down. But what happens when blood sugar goes too low, after insulin pushed all that extremely high blood sugar into our cells, is that the brain sends a signal to the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands release adrenaline. Adrenaline is the hormone that tells the body to release stored glucose to get our blood sugar back to normal. So it's a little complex, and it seems counterintuitive, but that's how the body is created by God to function, to try to keep blood sugar levels as stable as possible. So when we're eating refined sugar, our adrenals are constantly being triggered to release adrenaline to counteract the hypoglycemic state that follows. We are on this roller coaster, and we get a lot of inflammation from that. It's like we're adding stress to an already stressful life. Our inner self is very stressed. Our inner physiology. Then, I mean, there's so many complex things to this, but so then we've got this excess adrenaline circulating, and we're already stressed out from stressful lives, so we're super adrenalized. Our adrenal glands become exhausted. A lot of people want to debate that. There's no such thing as adrenal exhaustion. Yes, there is. If we're living a lifestyle that's continually stressing the adrenals, they do become tired. And one of the things that adrenals produce is sex hormones, estrogen, testosterone. If our adrenals are exhausted, they're going to prioritize adrenaline production because that's what's going to keep us alive. We need adrenaline for quick energy, to run away from a threat or fight it. We don't necessarily need to procreate immediately. So that's where we get into secondary hormonal deficiencies and just all kinds of problems. So back to it being a process to heal, our adrenal cells take 3 months. They have a lifespan of 3 months. So when adrenals produce a new cell, that cell will live for 3 months. It will die and it will produce, daughter cells. So if we are changing our lifestyle, we're giving our body the nutrients it needs, we could say safely that in 3-month cycles, the adrenal glands should literally have replaced themselves with healthier cells. So it's a process, and it's the same with every part of our body. Cells in our mouth, all through the GI tract, all the way down, those cells will reproduce themselves in 2 to 5 days. So that's why you can heal your gut pretty fast if you start eating better. You see changes right away. Different tissues take different times. I'm not just going to throw numbers out that I don't know if I'm accurate, but you could look those up. You could look up, if you're trying to heal your brain, look up how our brain neurons replace. Neurons can regrow, but that's a different subject. How long does it take for bone tissue to regenerate? How long does it take for a liver cell, a hepatocyte, to regenerate? So you can look that up and start to think about healing in a different way. If I'm going to remove noxious substances from my life, such as refined sugar, which is king, number one, then I can expect, if I'm gradually sleeping better and I'm eating better and I'm exercising, I can expect to fully regenerate my liver in X amount of time. So the key thing is here, look at healing like a year-long process. Say, I'm gonna quit sugar, I'm gonna quit alcohol, I'm going to do my best to do those things. I'm going to give this a whole year before I assess the full impact. That's the way we need to look at healing. And when we do that, we'll be absolutely stunned and amazed and enjoy the process, because it is a process. Yep, and grows our faith in our physical body that it can heal. I mean, I feel like younger. It's an internal feeling. It's like I just want to be as nuanced as possible, because when I've watched videos of people, looking up testimonials for inspiration of people who quit sugar or lost weight or whatever they're doing, I love it when people get super nuanced about how they feel. I say, oh, I have more energy, I'm sleeping better. It's like, well, what does that mean really? And because I think that's important to understand what that means, so you get really excited and hang on to the possibility of that. Sleeping better. Wow. If any of you guys have had insomnia issues, especially when under a lot of stress, having a background of trauma, it's like so brutal, because it's like you have less sleep, so it compounds the stress. It's like a stressed brain from lack of sleep is going to be like way more anxious. And you may say, well, I was in bed for 8 hours and I slept, but if it's not deep sleep, restorative sleep, which can be not happen when we have inflammation going on in the body. And then while we're sleeping, we don't realize that we've got these micro, rises and falls of blood sugar if we've been eating refined sugar. So there's a lot more nuance with diet, how to optimize blood sugar, and how it relates with trauma and stress. But basically, we have to help our brain as much as we can to be functioning optimally if we really want to be able to heal trauma. Because if we've got a ton of adrenaline flowing and we're super stressed out, it's going to be really difficult to sustain changes that we're trying to make, or methods, or techniques we're trying to do to integrate trauma. It's hard to maintain those. It's hard to really get traction. So the message I want to leave here is quitting refined sugar, and along with that, as many drugs as you can. Other people, if you do have other drugs like alcohol, some prescription drugs, certainly hardcore drugs, and other addictive things like behaviors. Some people are sex addicts. Some people are, I don't know. I think staying up too late watching TV is probably not good as well. But the key thing, refined sugar and alcohol. I'm going to put alcohol in there because it's basically a sugar substance and it's so damaging to our body. If you can quit those, I just want to share with you, you're going to be amazed. I don't care how old you are. Of course, the earlier the better. But still, if you can stop those things, have patience, trust the process, it's going to really, really help with trauma healing. And if you want to lose weight and get fit, you want to cure any disease process you have going on, any symptoms at all, including chronic pain, insomnia, quit eating refined sugar. So thanks for this a little bit long. I just am trying to capture as much as I can to share. I know everybody wants to see the before and after photos, and I will get there. And it may take me a year. No pressure. In the meantime, I'm celebrating every win that comes. And right now, my body feels like it's the energy's coming into the center. Definitely tightening up. That would be yin and yang energy concepts, but sugar is very yin and expansive. So as I stop that, my body's slowly contracting back into state it's supposed to be in. And it's new. So it's only been a few weeks, but I feel amazing. And I know it's just going to keep getting better. So, big thing, sugar and trauma. We got to stop. Just stop. If you can. Thanks so much. God bless.